Our next guests on the pod are all running the Boston Marathon for Breakthrough T1D, as they're all dedicated. They're fundraising for innovative research to improve the lives of those living with type 1 diabetes. We are wicked excited to welcome Andrew, Lindsay, and hopefully soon Aaron to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, guys?
Hi.
Hey, Eric. Hey, Erica.
So nice to have you guys joining us today. I know we're getting real close to Boston, so I hope you're getting really excited getting towards that race. How you guys feeling? How about you, Andrew?
Definitely feeling it in the feet these last few days for sure.
Training is taking its toll.
Yeah, legs are getting tired, but pretty excited. I think the excitement's overpowering anything else at this point.
Good. How about you, Lindsay?
I feel great. I'm super excited. I just want to get there in one piece and not have any issues between now and then.
Coming close. You'll be great. You guys will be ready.
We were talking skiing before we hit record, and you were kind of doing some preventative, maintenance. You were just skiing the blues this year, Andrew.
Yes.
You took the year off the slopes. You're very focused on the race and training. Is this the first Boston Marathon for you guys, Lindsay? How about you?
Yes, this is the first Boston Marathon for me, and it was super important throughout the winter, especially with skiing, that nothing got in the way of any training or I had any injuries to worry about. I didn't want to jeopardize my place in this awesome event.
I feel that. How about you, Andrew?
So this is actually my first official, but my second run of the course. I ran last year, the night before, so I was the first alternate on this team, and I did some training and then just decided to run it the night before the race.
What was that like? That must have been cool. I know a lot of people do the midnight bike ride, but you did the midnight run.
Yeah, it was unadvisable. A lot of potholes, a lot of tree branches in the face, but it was a lot of fun. It was very therapeutic, and it helped build up my story in order to get to the point of being able to raise money. Like a lot of folks I shared with even before I began fundraising, that run. So it was very helpful.
Were you by yourself?
By myself. I had my sister. She was running, like she was in a car, like kind of tracking me. And
what was the course like? Like, was it set up yet? Were all the fence lines put in place? Or I'm wondering what time this is. Like, was the staging happening at the time? What was all that like?
So the fences were up to a degree. They're kind of like more on the side of the road, not in any particular order. I mean, the traffic's still going and everything. There was no blockage at all. There was the porta potties, which were very helpful. But they're
clean too.
Yeah, very clean. Yeah,
Fresh.
It was perfect.
The runner's dream.
But they're all zip tied. Like a bunch of them were zip tied except one at the end. So so no one would just pop it and use them. So
insider's trick: go check the last porta potty. It won't be long.
Insider tip: bring a pair of scissors with you.
Hey, let's get to know you guys real quick. Lindsay, where are you from? Are you all New England based runners here?
Not quite. I am born and raised in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. It's at the Jersey Shore. I always say it's not the Jersey Shore that everyone sees on television or saw on television. It's close to that location, but that's not real life. So now I live in Brick, New Jersey, which is right next door. We're about 10 minutes from the beach and about an hour south of New York City.
Awesome.
Very cool. So what's your game plan for the Boston Marathon weekend and the expo and everything?
So I am driving up on Saturday morning by myself. I'm going to go to the expo, spend some time, walk around, get myself situated in the hotel. And we have dinner with the team on Saturday night. And then Sunday, do a little run, shakeout run, relax, get some food. I may bring my own food too. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to handle that. And just try and, get my head ready for everything. And then my husband and a bunch of friends and family are coming up the day of. So they're leaving super early in the morning and they're all going to find me along the course.
That's going to be an amazing, amazing time. But oh boy, I hope they don't hit any traffic, and I hope it all goes smoothly.
Same. It's a little
That's
dicey.
crazy.
I told them that they're going to leave at like 4 a.m. So I think they should figure it out.
Should be
It'll
fine. Should be fine.
Yeah.
If they need people to hang out with at the race, we're going to be at mile 19. Like, we can talk later. They can hang out.
Gonna
We're
be
going
a
to have
party.
epic
Love
cheer
it.
station. But if they're going to be following you around the course and want to see you at the finish line, we get that. That's totally cool.
Yeah, I'll leave all the options on the table just so that they have a place to go and they can find people, and we'll definitely need to talk about that.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, we don't bite, at least not yet.
Good.
Andrew, how about you? Where are you from, buddy?
I'm from New Hampshire originally, so Lebanon, New Hampshire is where I grew up. So I'm a New England boy through and through. But yeah, I never imagined, even growing up in New England, running the Boston Marathon. So this is kind of something I'm soaking all in. We'll say that much.
Is that where you're based now, or are you in one of those 3 states behind you on the wall?
So I'm actually a mile from the finish line right now. I live in the South End in Boston.
So cool. So cool. So it's so cool. We got someone from, so your team's really spread. How big is the Breakthrough T1D team?
Colorado, DC area.
There's another Texas?
Couple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one in Texas.
Texas?
So, yeah.
Do you have a big team? Did we ask that? How many people are on your team?
8, I think, right? Only 8
Oh,
of us.
wow. So, you're really, that is a nice small team.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, super small team.
So actually what I want to know is, it seems like Andrew, you're like, let me call Aaron real quick and see what's going on. And it seemed like the two of you knew each other pretty well, just with the small talk. So did you know each other before? Or is this like your team's really connected and you're always talking and that's how you know each other?
I would say it's just we've been in a group chat together for a while now, since like November, early December. And we've just kind of gone back and forth about different things, shared runs. We shared our story on our first Zoom together, which was pretty great. Emotional for some people because they were running for people that, their loved ones. And for at least me, Lindsay, and Aaron, we're running a little bit for ourselves to a degree, but we know how difficult this disease is. And, so the instant connection between people with, what folks have gone through with this condition.
No, I was just going to say we've had a lot of like pretty personal conversations. We've had a lot of questions come up in our group chat about underwear and chafing and bathroom issues. So I think at this point, like the most important things.
Yes.
And yeah, like you were saying, Andrew, I think, I know for me, when I meet someone else, especially someone that has diabetes or that can relate to this lifestyle, it's always like, okay, we're friends now. It's a really interesting way to connect with people. So it is almost like an instant connection.
So this kind of segues us into your whys, how you chose this for a charity and why you're running, and to just tell us a little bit more about Breakthrough T1D.
Yeah. So, as much as it's easy to run for a condition like this in a cause like this, with being diabetic, it's to me about the kids, because I was diagnosed as an adult, which is a little bit rare. Usually it's known as a juvenile disease. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, I, realized quickly that it is extremely difficult to live a day-to-day life as an adolescent with this disease. Tonight there will be a mother waking up their child to check their blood sugar. There's a family out there that doesn't know where the next vial of insulin comes from. And that, to me, puts me in a place of just a quick reflection of how lucky I am. Mm-hmm. That, the biggest obstacle in front of me is running 26.2 miles. It's not the struggles that the kids go through with type 1 diabetes.
That is an excellent point. That is one thing that I wouldn't normally think of, is how to get the insulin that you need. That's going to be a life-saving tool for you. So does this Breakthrough T1D, does it help people access getting insulin?
As far as I know, absolutely. Yeah. Good. They direct families to resources, new diagnoses to resources. I didn't engage with it when I first was diagnosed, the organization, but it was very therapeutic once I found it, because I found I really never had a conversation with another type 1 diabetic before. And that instant connection and that, like, oh, you're going through this too, you're having the same challenges. it did so much for me in the first couple of years after being diagnosed. So I instantly knew that I found a cause and an organization I was going to get behind.
That's excellent. How about you, Lindsay?
So I was diagnosed when I was 6 in 1992. I am 38, so it's been a solid 32 years, going on 33 years of this. I also didn't interact with Breakthrough. It was previously JDRF when I was younger, and really at all until probably the last couple of years. A few years ago, I really wanted to spend some time to reach out to newly diagnosed children and families, or people who are interacting with type 1 diabetes in some way, and offer them advice and guidance and support from someone who's not a medical doctor, but lives day in and day out with type 1. And I certainly rely on medicine and modern medicine every single day, but there's something to be said about doing this 24/7 and gaining the knowledge and the practice of trying to just do the best you can, and then trying to offer that advice and education to newly diagnosed families and people, or people that may just be reaching out for help. So that's how I got connected with Breakthrough. I'm an outreach ambassador, so I do contact people who have just recently come in contact, or they're a caregiver, or they're someone with type 1 diabetes. And from that point, I wanted to combine that with my running, and this is where we are now. I ran with Breakthrough in Chicago last fall, and when I got done with the Chicago Marathon, I was like, I need to get to Boston. So here we are.
Now, that was a nice transition, because my next question for you was, this is your third world major. So are the world majors like a goal, and are you going to be able to run all of them for Breakthrough T1D?
So I'm fairly certain Breakthrough does not have a team for every world major. I think maybe we can, Andrew, maybe we can work on that.
Andrea, yeah.
We can.
Yeah.
We'll email Andrea, who's the one who connected us with you, and we'll be like, hey, let's make this happen.
Let's do it. That would be amazing. But yeah, I didn't think like the 6-star, now it's 7, but I didn't think that journey was going to be something that I was going to just jump into. But after I did New York and then Chicago, and now we're here, I'm like, okay, well, you have to do it now. So yeah, we'll see.
So I have another question for you guys. Before we get into your fundraising for this amazing cause, you mentioned like the hardest part of this journey so far is running the 26.2. So how do you juggle maintaining your T1D with marathon training? Like I honestly don't know a whole lot about it. So the more insight you guys can give me would be awesome, if you're willing to talk about it. But if you don't want to, just let me know. But I'd love to hear how you manage. So Andrew, why don't you start?
Yeah. So it's definitely a difficult disease to deal with when you're running, because as we know, as runners, like you burn through a lot of calories, and you're having to fuel along the way. But Lindsay, Aaron, and I, we deal with something that, we're also managing. It's not like we're just hungry or we're running out of energy. Our blood sugar is actually moving towards a direction that we can't, no human can tolerate. And having a plan for that, and knowing like how your body's going to react. And we very intimately know our bodies in a way that is surprising. Like we feel different things. We know how much insulin we need. Like we're making decisions that the average person is not having to make. It said that the average type 1 diabetic makes 180 more decisions a day than the average person out there, which is pretty crazy.
Staggering.
Yeah. And I think if you're running a marathon, it's even more than that.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
It's a lot to balance.
But in terms of like, so you wanted to get into managing
do you have to
raising?
wear the sensor, and like, is there an app for that? Like how best do you hold on,
how best do you manage it, especially with running? Like you're running with type 1 diabetes here. Do you have to track it? Do you have to, your fueling? That's another one too. Like your fueling, see, I'm stumbling just like Erica, but
she's like, what do you do?
Do you have to carry extra stuff with you just in case, or what do you carry being a type 1 diabetic while training for a marathon?
Yeah, I carry like gels like the average runner. But I also have to carry my insulin. I also have to have my phone or something to track my blood sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Aaron and Lindsay also wear a sensor as well. It's like a must. If your sensor dies while you're out running, you might as well stop and go home. Like the mental part of like not knowing is very difficult to overcome.
In a 26-mile race marathon, that's a marathon distance. If anyone didn't know, actually 26.2. Do you ever have to do you have to carry insulin? Do you ever have to take a shot of insulin at some point because I don't know if you're going to be out there for 3 hours or 6. Like, how are you preparing for that?
It's literally like a science experiment, somewhat of a controlled science experiment. Every single day, whether you're running or not, a marathon or not, it's just a little bit different. And you could do the same thing. You could eat the same thing and you could do the same exact thing every single day and have a different outcome because of type 1. It's literally impossible to always keep it completely within a perfect range. And perfect meaning we all have a different range in mind. But yes, I think with the sensor, keeping track of your sugar during the run obviously is super important. Like Andrew was saying, if the sensor doesn't work and you lose connectivity, which actually did happen to me during the New York Marathon, it was an absolute nightmare. I did end up having to take an injection because I felt like my blood sugar was super high, but I really had no idea. And I figured I'm just going to take insulin just to take it and hope for the best. But yeah, keeping track of the sugars with the sensor. And then I wear an insulin pump. So as long as the pump doesn't fail, I won't need to take an injection. It'll just be a continuous basal rate of insulin. And depending on where my sugars are trending, I can adjust that. So if the sensor is showing me that, let's say in the beginning of the race, we have a pretty big adrenaline rush, which I do sometimes struggle with, not all the time.
Does that factor into it? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, for me, it does. That's something that I really had to work on in the last 5 years with running, even smaller races around here. Just getting to the start line, it's super exciting. And, it's not always nerves. It's just fun and exciting. And I absolutely have a pretty huge adrenaline rush that at times I've actually had to take insulin to counteract, which is kind of counterintuitive to what we would want to do when we're starting a heavy cardio activity. Because once it gets into your system, that cardio, that running has a tendency to bring your sugar down pretty quickly. So there's so many factors, but it's really just like Andrew said, we're so mindful of all these little things. And running, definitely makes things a little bit more exacerbated. It may be a little crazier on these, especially big major marathons. But we keep an eye on things and just do the best you can and just have fun.
I really commend you guys for having to do this. It's not something that I imagine you would want to do, but you have to do. And that just gives a whole new meaning to runner's math. I would hope to have an app or something to help me with that because the numbers must be absolutely staggering. And like you said, that's so many decisions you have to make in your daily life, but just adding running to that too. It's just, that's a lot to handle. So I absolutely applaud you guys for choosing to do this for fun, for health, for the majors, for whatever your reason is. But I really do commend you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I wouldn't wish this disease on my worst enemy, but at the same time, just a few years ago, I was afraid of running. I wouldn't do it at all. I just wouldn't go for a run because I was afraid of what my blood sugar would do. But now, I've kind of taken it head on, and I look at any other runner like Lindsay, Aaron, any other type 1, and what they're doing is crazy. Because I'm going through the same thing. It's very difficult to know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. So it's it's a struggle.
Andrew, did I hear your Dexcom alarm?
Yeah.
I thought I heard something too.
I looked at my phone. I'm like, wait, I'm not low.
Yeah. A little high.
Oh, you're okay. You're good. You're good. He'll get that down.
Well, let's talk about Boston. I think I misspoke a little earlier. I said you both made your goals, and I read that you're above 10,000, which is the common number, but you have the $12,000 target. So you're almost there. You're so close. As we're speaking, you're 35 days to go. When you're listening or watching this, who knows? It might be a week. It might be 2 weeks, depending if we get this out early on YouTube. But are you excited for the Boston Marathon? What's your goals going into the race here? Like, we know Lindsay's done a couple marathons. We know you did it last year, the night before, Andrew. But Andrew, what's your game plan for the Boston Marathon?
I've got 2 goals: sub 4, which would be fantastic. Like that's kind of a dream. I definitely was not sub 4 last year. The second goal is not to hear my Dexcom go off, as it has already.
As it
during
just
this,
did.
as it has during this call.
That's
so.
a good goal.
It would be, as Lindsay knows, it'd be amazing
What
to
was
not
that?
have.
Tell everyone what that was.
So I have a range between 75 and 160 approximately. And if it goes outside that range, I hear a beep. Various different beeps throughout the day, depending on what time it is.
Oh, so is there like a good beep and a bad beep? And
Yeah. There's the beep that you're high and like, you got to bring that down. It's not going to
see that.
You're a 99 right now. You're the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
She's it's really good.
I mean, I came down from 185 before, so we're doing okay.
It's still pretty
Man,
good.
so you live with this every day. Like this is number one on your list every day when you wake up to when you go to bed.
Mm-hmm. It's a constant. Yeah. It really is. I've definitely changed my mindset about it, though. I feel, like Andrew said, I don't wish it on my worst enemy, but I also, maybe about 10 years ago, I tried to shift my mindset about it and really just take pride in having it, I guess. I don't feel like there's much other choice. Mm-hmm. And I felt like maybe I should just kind of be proud of it. Not like boastful, but just own it. And it's definitely helped me like just feel good about all the work I put in and, try and just knowing that you're doing the best you can every day.
There you go.
It's amazing, Lindsay.
Yeah, I'll say that type 1 diabetes has led me to places I would have never gone. And I'm probably in the best shape of my life because of running a marathon. But, I'm doing things because I have it and I want to live a long, healthy life. And, I'm making decisions and doing things that, are reflective of the disease I live with every day and wake up in the middle of the night and in the morning with. So.
Still here.
Well, guys, that's amazing what you guys are living with and dealing with every day and training for a marathon on top of that. Like, I'm super pumped. Lindsay, I don't know if we actually talked about it, but what are your game plan here? What's your goal for the race?
Goal is to definitely come in under my time for Chicago, which was 3:55. So I'd be happy with a 3:50, or I'm on track for a 3:45. I tried to up my speed.
You're speedy.
I'm trying. We're going to be hopeful. I have a coach, which has been so incredibly helpful, and I shifted my training in January to work on that speed. Mm-hmm. So just to feel good and run like I do normally. Not, it's just another race. It's just another run, and I just want to be relaxed and feel good about it.
Well, that's amazing.
Boston is like, we like to think of it as the victory lap, even though we haven't run it in a while. So,
yes.
But I hope you guys enjoy yourselves, that you get everything out of the experience that you want, and that it goes smoothly, especially with your blood sugar. Like, let it be an easy day if that exists.
Exactly.
That'd be amazing.
Hopefully smooth.
Where can everyone find you, follow you, jump on those fundraising pages? If you haven't hit the 12,000 yet, get you over it. If you have, get you way above it. Where can they find you on all the social media platforms and to help you out here?
So I have a link to my fundraising page on my Facebook page and on my Instagram page. Instagram is Broker Lindsay, and Facebook is just my name, Lindsay Woodruff. Probably have a skiing picture out there. I honestly don't even know.
Good.
She
That's
does
good.
on Instagram.
On Instagram,
You come up here to New Hampshire next year, we'll go skiing at Ragged or something. Maybe we'll go Jay Peak, but
that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Listen, I'm so pumped. Andrew, we lost him, but he'll be back. But this was great. Listen, real quick, Andrea has done this great job of connecting us and doing this and getting us together for this podcast. And Erica and I have just learned so much. I don't think we've ever had anyone with type 1 diabetes before. You are the runner. I would love to have you back on the podcast one day and talk all about running and really get to know dive deeper into life with type 1 diabetes and running, because you've done other world majors. I hope you do more. I hope you go and one day become 7-star Lindsay.
Yes.
I really do.
Yes, I hope so too. It'll happen.
So, Lindsay, we are going to be cheering at mile 19 right by the Johnny Kelly statue. I don't know if you got to see it on your little preview from the other day.
I didn't.
But it's right as you're getting into Newton. And we're just going to be cheering. And is
Loudly.
there anything that we could have for you if you need a little pick-me-up going up those Newton hills? Like we've offered to have like a banana or like a water. I don't know. Is there anything that we could offer you at mile 19?
Just smiles and high fives and happiness and good vibes. I think that's all I need.
Well, we will have those in spades for sure.
You got it.
That's so helpful.
Okay, we have Andrew back real quick, so we're gonna give him the spiel. We are gonna be cheering at mile 19. We're gonna be on the runner's left-hand side, and we want to be there for you. So we're going to be cheering our hearts out. But is there anything you might need on the course that we could offer you, whether it be like a banana or water or something? We would love to support you out there.
My correction's apple juice. So
Ooh, nice. Nice apple juice. Wait, do you want it like how about like an apple juice, like a kitty apple juice box or something?
Let's do a juice box. That'd be cool.
All right, cool. We'll be there.
Put the straw in for you so you can grab it as you go.
Yeah, keep an eye out on your left. We'll be there, runners left. So as I was just saying to Lindsay, like, thank you so much for doing this. Guys, go out there, help support Andrew and Lindsay, and even Aaron, who couldn't make it. I'm sad. We'll figure it out. Everything will be on the show notes, the links here, guys. Thank you so much for doing this. Good luck in the Boston Marathon. You guys are going to kick ass.
Have a blast, guys.
Like, I'm so impressed that you're doing this with type 1 diabetes. Like, kudos to you. You live this every day. Like, man, I couldn't imagine. So kudos. Have fun in Boston, guys. Kick some ass. Thank you so much for doing this. Andrew and Lindsay on the On the Runs podcast.